So, we want to talk through the rooms, next steps on that, renovation about the grain elevator building. And then I think to talk big picture about like the floodplain stuff, and then we can do details after. If I want to do the floodplain stuff, it's probably easier. I put together a proposed floodplain development permit application that I think is what they're looking for. And we've got to like reach out to homeowners and get stuff corrected where, you know, the permits that were issued in the past, they didn't comply. So Kevin and I, we talked about the work session, like.
But do we have to do that now or after they're here?
After who's here?
No,
we don't have to do that now.
Oh, okay.
But the whole process, we talked about in the work session, like, who does that? Is that Tim? Is that us? You know, you're the floodplain administrator, but we don't want to throw you in on necessarily fixing a big problem you didn't create. So
Yeah, I would agree with that.
yeah,
I think we should.
yeah.
Somewhere.
Right. Yeah. And
Well, I don't know, we'll work it out later, I guess.
yeah. And maybe we need to get the details of who we need to contact, or
I think we need to get the details from DNR on what we need to do exactly before we do anything.
okay,
So it could very well be that they won't make us do anything.
right.
That's what I'm hoping.
I don't. We'll see.
Well,
Yeah, that would be nice. I think we had talked about getting together with you, like at our work session, like a month and a half ago, and so we just didn't get it scheduled. So maybe it's kind of ironic to be meeting the day before the DNR meeting. Yeah, we should probably figure out who's going to do what after that, when we know more specifically. So the next thing is, do we want to talk about next steps for what we do? Do you want to be here for the conversation, I guess, is, you know, if you've got a building that's occupied without an occupancy permit. What are we supposed to do? And do it the right way. Like, we want to dot the I's, cross the T's.
Yes, I know that they are working with their architect. I think he has submitted their stuff downstate for them.
Okay.
I think that's where they're at now. They were waiting on an engineer drawing from Maynard's. And then,
is that who they're working with?
no, they're working with Todd Rome. He's an architect, does all the stuff for like Alex Kubnowski and all the stuff downtown the wall. But the building has to have engineered drawings with it.
I'm sorry, you said Maynard's. I'm
Yeah,
thinking Manhart.
Can we get those spindle pretzels?
But, so they're applying for that.
Okay.
So if they get state design release, once they get state design release, then they can apply for, they can ask for a variance from the fire marshal's department.
Right.
On the sprinkler system.
That's your state.
That comes from the state, right? But they can ask for a variance once they have a CDR from the state.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they're pretty close. They're working on trying to make that right.
Yeah. But so that the building's being occupied. There have been a couple of weddings that have been there.
I don't know if you ever had anybody do that before?
No. Yeah, I mean, it's something that becomes an ordinance violation issue, you know, which is a citable offense to the police department.
Right. And so I have our ordinance. Let's print that one out. I probably should have. And I don't know if it's specific enough, or so it's ordinance 2020-01, and just says, section 14, certificate of occupancy, shall be unlawful to occupy any such building or structure unless a full certificate of occupancy has been issued by the building commissioner. And then there's a violation section, but there's not like I don't see it defining like, and the penalty for that is this, or, you know, you can issue like this, there's a stop work order listed here, but there's not like a stop occupying order. So.
Does it make references your penalty section? What is your penalty section? Does your penalty section say that it encompasses all ordinances?
Oh, okay. If any person, firm, or corporation shall violate any provisions of this code, or shall do any act prohibited herein, or fail to perform any lawful duty enjoined within the time prescribed by the building commissioner, or shall fail, neglect, or refuse to obey any lawful order given by the building commissioner, and cancel provisions of this code for each violation, failure or refusal, such person, firm, or corporation shall be fined in any sum not less than $100, no more than $500 each day of such lawful activity as is prohibited by the first sentence of this section shall constitute a separate offense. So it's, we can just fine.
Between 1 and 500.
Mm-hmm. Daily.
Well,
So you
pretty much spelled it out right there.
Yeah.
So you can send a letter, you can ask them to cease and desist from being open, right, with a shot across the bow. You know, or this is what the law says we have to do.
Okay.
I do it a letter.
Yeah.
They cannot use the building period.
You know, and I don't think that's intended to be like, okay, well, because you get like, how much is parking? How much is the parking ticket? I'll take the parking ticket, you know?
Right.
And, you know, so that's, you know, that's in violation. I think that in violation would run 7 days a week. It's not gonna run the Saturday that you have something there, right?
Oh, I understand.
Otherwise, it's another $100 fee on top of whatever they charge to use the place, and then there's.
Right.
Okay.
Right? You know, it's, you know, it
What's
can be a
that?
violation, you know, they occupy it, you know, without it being into compliance, that fee would continue daily
Until they are.
until they are.
Which may actually get them to really put pressure on. Well, the state, and if they have not received the thing from the architect yet, which hopefully they have.
And I know they are working on that. I mean,
Yeah.
it is a process, and Menards has drugged their feet. I'm talking to the architect, I mean, he gives me a loop on what's going on there.
Yeah.
You know, he's kind of a disinterested third-party guy, you know, he's trying to help us with it and stuff, but Menards drags their feet on an after-the-fact
Sure.
engineering design, because, you know, they can engineer it and they'll stamp it, you know, it's another couple $1,000 for them to stamp it,
Mm-hmm.
you know, on the front end.
Mm-hmm.
Then they go, here's how you have to build it. If you build it like that, then this engineering stamp applies. But now that it's been built, they're gonna go, well, we can't stamp it now, because we don't know that's how you built it. You know what I mean? It's a little bit of a,
Yeah.
but I think he's got them to do that. You know, they're in the process of doing that. So they are trying to make it right. But it doesn't negate the fact that they don't have the ability to be in there, right? And then they're gonna come back and go, well, it's just family. This is my second cousin got married, I'll let him use my place. My third cousin got married, I'll let him use the place.
Well, still, it doesn't matter. Whether or not you can't be there, period. So the only people that can be there, from what I understand, are people that are physically working on the building.
So whether you'd have to even have a construction permit for that too, right?
Well, they've got that, right?
Well, it is expired.
Oh, I thought they renewed it.
Well,
They apply.
we kind of sat on that because of them applying downstate. Right, so if the state, they get their CDR, then you can reinstate it and go from there, but.
They submitted an application. It just has not been completed yet.
Oh, how long ago did they do that?
A couple weeks ago, week ago, something like that.
We can't, I mean, we can't issue it, we can't, I mean, it would be, if it was gonna expire, you'd have to issue a new one, you can't issue a new one in the condition that the building is in now, it has no CDR and it's a commercial building, so I would just have to say no. You know, you can't renew this, and so,
Right.
if they get the CDR, then, you know,
CDR,
construction design release from the state.
I want to be as, you know, understanding and as patient and flexible as we can be inside the rules
Mhm.
and the laws. So, and I think that's what we've been attempting to do.
And I get that, you know, the other part of that drastic, unfortunately, is, you know, an apparent, you know, a fire in that place, and all of that, we were trying to be nice, we were trying to work in all the
Right.
shaders out the window.
Yeah, so we can't take on liability for the
Right.
town. What I understand is, we look the other way, that brings liability on the town, so we can't do that.
Yeah.
And we talked about that in the town council,
Yeah.
so we're good with that. But where we do have discretion, we wanna, you know, decide in favor of them, but where we don't, we have to do what we have to do to protect the whole town, you know? So, the cease and desist letter, does that come from the building commissioner or from the town council? We've never done this before, maybe you've never done this before
Yeah, I
either.
think that would come from the town council.
Okay,
well, it's an ordinance violation.
Yeah, it's an ordinance violation, so that's a council deal, it's not a building code violation, I mean, there are building code violations, but it's an ordinance violation.
okay,
So, yeah, like for our ordinance violations, like, you know, we write one in law, you know, I mean, it's a law. And so like if we have like unregistered contractors working somewhere or something, we call the police chief, he sends us a cop, we give him the ordinance violation, he writes the ticket.
Oh, okay.
That's what we don't have a sworn in code enforcement person,
Mm-hmm.
so we're working toward that,
okay,
but we get the police to give them the ordinance, because they don't know the civil ordinances, you know, but we give them the ordinance and then they write the ticket, and the person has to show up in court.
okay.
Excuse me.
We can do that, so it sounds like that's the right next step, and does that cover us liability wise?
Yeah. How long does it take to get, CDCs?
CDR,
CDRs.
construction design license, usually, it depends how busy they are, there's only 4 guys that work in that department in Indianapolis. But usually you get them within 3 or 4 weeks, so a month, you know, once you send it down there. I mean, there is a, you know, next on the bench fee you can pay, you know, you can get it expedited, but it's, you know, it's an exorbitant amount of money, but. So.
Okay, so send a cease and desist letter, sounds like that's the right next step.
Mm-hmm.
And then if they still occupy, then we have to, we're actually citing them for an ordinance violation and then issuing a fine. And is that, so I've never done this before, so how does that process work? Like when you do a roll, what is it like?
They go to court,
Okay,
right, we issue that, they get a court date, and they go to court, so.
is it the police that write, we have our police write an ordinance
Yeah, they would
violation
have,
ticket?
they would have read the violation.
And then they have to go to court, so, I mean, did that ever happen?
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't know.
You might want to have been in the whole court, because it's a county, the judge, it's a county court.
No, we've had
We go
stuff.
to Lake County.
Yeah.
You go up to Lake County?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I always thought that,
But,
like, Rich can only do inside town limits stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that, but it's an
Yeah.
assumption I've always made. I don't know.
You said Rich?
That's like,
the judge.
The judge
Oh, okay.
for Lowell.
Yeah.
Oh, he was in Lowell?
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay, yeah,
yeah, he's actually got a court right there in the town hall.
yeah. Because I think towns can establish courts,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think.
But I think like, you know, if we let people get tickets and stuff out of 41 and stuff, and I think they come to Lowell.
Probably if it's a low cop that wrote it.
It could be
Okay.
the
If it's a Lowell ordinance violation, if it's, but if it's on 41, I do believe it goes to
I'm talking
Lake County.
Lowell, if the Lowell cops write the ticket, it
Well-
would go to Lowell.
Okay,
even if he's out of our jurisdiction, because they work on,
Yeah,
they work
'cause
on
I know-
stupid grants
well-
all the time. I mean, that's how they get to do that. Sure.
yeah, 'cause I mean, I know our cops, if they write something on 41, then it's not a town ordinance violation for speeding. It's a state ordinance,
It's a what?
a state ordinance then.
Oh,
Okay.
but all of ours is going to Lake County anyway.
Yeah. So then that means that cease and desist letters need to be written to everybody without occupancy permits.
Oh, we have more?
Well, there was letters written to more than one.
I thought that was, I haven't looked at them yet, because I've been in the floodplain. I thought it was, I thought that was not having a building permit, but that was occupancy? I mean, yeah. we
They
need to-
said that they received an occupancy, but they don't have time to find a copy of it to submit.
Okay.
So the letter stated if they did receive an occupancy permit, or if
Yeah.
they did not, then they would have to still get a final inspection to receive it.
Oh, it's just.
To reapply for a permit to get the final inspection. Because the permit expired before the final inspection was done.
But was the final inspection done?
No, or else they would have received an occupancy permit.
Okay. So this is 2023-05,
What did they do?
and that's,
It was a house.
Oh, one of the houses they worked on?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. How long ago was this?
They had permits just rolling over. So I think that one, you got the letter for that one, right?
is it that?
Yeah.
Okay, so this
So
is,
2023, it expired July of 24.
This is who? Who's this?
Cartwright, the business on the east side of town. They buy houses, rehab them, and either rent them out or sell
they're a commercial facility, but then they also buy some residential houses that are just,
And somebody at Cartwright's a general contractor?
them. I think they hire general contractors, actually. I don't know what. I
They
don't know
do.
what they
Okay.
They do.
I don't know why they have a side business of
They
real
say
estate
they'll,
investment.
sometimes they do things themselves.
Okay. I noticed a lot of the permits said self.
Well, a lot of things can be done self,
Yeah.
but if it's commercial, from what I understand, you cannot do anything yourself. Anything zoned commercial has to be done by a contractor.
Okay. And
But-
then, you mean, is a residential home as a rental investment property counts commercial? Or is this
Yeah, that
commercial
gets
property?
muddy.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, because it's zoned residential,
That gets muddy.
yeah.
So we tend to look at them as commercial.
Yeah, because there was
There's
a,
always, you get muddy with all the flippers who come in and stuff, just start to go, I own this house. Yeah, but
this isn't your primary residence.
it's not your primary residence, right? It's not your primary residence.
Or your secondary residence, it's not your residence
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah, it's not your residence.
Right.
So, so in the state of Indiana, you would like to work on your own property, right? I mean, there's some ordinances, older ones that some places have, like some places make you take like a generic electrical test or something, but, there's a log cabin law in Indiana that you don't need a building permit to work on to build your own house. You don't need a building permit. Now, there's some caveats to that.
Okay.
You also you have to follow the health ordinances.
Right.
But you want to build your own house. You can build your own house. If you have 100 acres somewhere, you want to build a house on it, you have to follow the health ordinances. So you can put in a well and septic if that's allowed where you're building. Right? You put in a well and septic, you build your own house. NIPSCO's not going to hook you up without an inspection from the town. So you're going to live on solar panels or batteries,
Right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
You may or may not be able to get the municipality to run water to your property because it wasn't inspected.
Right.
So you have to have a well, right? And no one is going to a bank is not going to finance you back
Right.
without building inspections. There's an entire class of people that live in this state through Rockville, through Shipshewana, through Napanee, They don't care about any of those government things. They won't build their house, they won't live in it, they don't need electricity,
Wow,
right? And so the Amish build whatever they want.
okay,
And so it kind of gets spread that way, that you can work on your house that you own, where your shoes go into the bed at night where you sleep.
yeah,
Now, where we do run into issues with that is we have an affidavit that you sign that says under the penalty and perjury law, you know, I attest that I'm doing all this work myself. And they go, well, my cousin is my brother is my cousins are, and you can't just call people liars, but when you drive by there and there's an entire concrete company putting this driveway in, and the guy said he was gonna put in, and sometimes I'll note that on their permit, you know, I'm like, look, you say you're doing this yourself. This is 27 yards of concrete. That is 57,000 pounds of concrete.
And you did that yourself.
And how you gonna do it yourself? You know,
right,
you know, and it's in the backyard, and you're responsible for the sidewalk if you break it, you know. And then you drive by there and there's, you know, 2 skid steers and, you know, 3 one-ton trucks with trailers on them, and then we call the police and they write them a ticket, right? Because you're not doing it yourself. It says myself in our paperwork, which is the same thing you get from the county. We just sold their paperwork. So you can do your work yourself, but you have to do it yourself now. Some guy's roofing his house, and you pull up there, and it's a guy, and it's his 2 kids, and they're roofing a house. I don't give a crap. Okay, follow building code. If you don't know what it is, we'll tell you. Roof your house, go for it. You know, but no. You know, 75-year-old lady can choose, I'm gonna roof this myself.
yeah. Do we have a affidavit? Does
Mhm.
the town
Yeah.
have an affidavit
Yep.
for that? Okay. I wasn't sure if that was Tom Bull or Tom Schneider.
Nope,
Okay,
we have affidavits for people working themselves. We have affidavits for contractors that, like, if they're just doing this or if they have subs.
okay,
Just like this is all I'm using.
right, okay, cool.
Mhm.
So we've got 2. Okay, this one that, this, the one I showed you, the Cartwright residential building.
Mhm.
Which
That's-
house? I'm curious which house is it?
It's the one on Parish. The,
23809 Parish?
yeah.
Oh, that's, Studer's old house.
Mhm.
Okay, I don't know which one. I guess I didn't even know that Carver did that. Okay. Somebody live in it?
I don't think so. I don't know. They paid, you know, they take care of the utilities, so I never know who's in and out.
Is this?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it isn't, yeah.
So, do they not have an occupancy permit? Because the house has been existed before that permit, so they,
It's not a brand new house.
right, so is it?
They
We don't
had,
always do occupancy. We do occupancies on new construction stuff.
Yeah,
yeah,
Other than that, you know, we do, you know, you pull a permit, you get all your finals, and then once you pass all your finals, then your
Yeah.
permit's closed out and somebody can live there.
if I remember, like, it was like a new porch and they gutted. So it was treated almost like, kind of like that. I mean, new windows, new doors. I want to say even
You know, the
structurally, like different stuff inside, plumbing. I mean, it was a pretty big rehab.
problem with an occupancy permit on a remodel, which is still what that is, right? I mean, so you're living in your house, and then you tear out the kitchen and 2 bathrooms, and you know, you're doing a major construction, but you're still living in your house.
Well, this is a rental.
Right,
So I
I'm
think that's
saying,
why.
but these all kind of got lumped together. So how do you issue an occupancy permit for something where people never moved out, they live there, and if things go sideways, you're gonna go tell them they gotta leave?
Yeah. Well, there was nobody.
Who's gonna do
There was
that?
nobody living in there at the
Yeah.
time. So they were the occupants had moved out. So the owners decided that they wanted to gut it and redo it. So the permit expired, and there is no finalization. And he was requesting an occupancy as part. I mean, that was written on the permit.
oh, the permit application?
Yes.
Okay, so I just think it's a.
So
slightly
that's
different
why.
Yeah.
cease and desist letter.
Yeah, that's why.
Well, it would just be that your permit has not been closed out.
Right, but
So-
I didn't know if,
Yeah.
you know, and from talking to her, she was like, well, he came and gave us those things. And maybe just didn't give me a copy of it to
On
put
the
in the
house.
file. Yeah,
This house, okay.
yeah, very possibly. So they said that they had that stuff, but they just didn't have time to submit any of that to me.
Could we offer to them, like, it's possible they lost the paperwork, and if you never got the paperwork may never be found. Could we just re-inspect it?
That's
without
exactly what the
requiring
letter
a permit?
states, is
Yeah.
here is a copy of a permit if it was never finalized to fill out a new building permit, and it also states that if you don't, or if it hasn't, then our building inspector may have to come and do a final.
I don't see that in the letter.
Maybe an easy way to get through it is to just do another final on it.
And there's nobody living there?
As of today, there's no final inspection, and then our building commissioner and receipt, he may contact you with questions.
Yeah, we would just, okay. Maybe we just be a little bit more saying, we can
Right.
resolve this through.
Well, I did-
You have a copy of the
I
final
did
inspection.
I
we
did
can
state
come
that
in.
when they called and said, well, what's this letter about?
This is Cartwright Coon's
Yeah.
house? So-
Yeah.
And there's nobody in there now?
No, not that I know
So we're
of.
just dealing with Cartwright, and we go, look, you didn't get this squared away, so we need this permit closed out.
Yeah,
Yeah, they called and they said, what's up with it? And I said, you know, our guy can come do a final really quick, you know, but we just need a new, I sent a copy of the application, we just need a new one. And, I mean, if you already paid for a final, I'm not gonna charge you for
Yeah.
another inspection.
we're not gonna make them open a new permit or, yeah.
Well, you need to open a new permit because it expired. So they have to have a new permit, but I'm just saying, I don't care about the cost, I just wanna finalize the thing.
But we're
I
trying to
mean-
finalize the old one, right? So
Yeah.
Maybe we just get home and just work under the old one,
And
and do the finals, and
that's-
just close it out.
I'm totally fine with that. And then, but,
Especially if the quote unquote final that Dave did was done while the last permit was still open.
right, and they said that they have it, but they didn't have time to retrieve the information.
Yeah,
So I said, okay, awesome, when you do have the time, can you please maybe I should have been more specific and said, is 2 weeks long enough?
yeah, we just need to give them a deadline of like,
Yeah,
you know, you need to have it submitted by this date, or have scheduled an appointment with their building inspector to,
yeah,
you know, redo the final inspection.
mm-hmm,
So, and then if it doesn't happen by the final inspection, we just send them another letter, or we go straight to the ordinance violation, but
You
That'd be
don't find
fine.
anything doing the final if you haven't done all the previous ones, right?
I can't see what's back there, but I mean,
I was gonna say,
inspections are
can't
a
see inside
snapshot in
the walls.
time anyways, right? So
yeah, I mean, I can show you
we can go
like
look
the
at what's
current
there.
permit and what was all, so you can see what was all done.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Sounds like that one shouldn't be that big of a deal then.
Right, but we should do both.
Mhm.
Yeah, that we, you know, need to treat everybody the same.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
There was a cease and desist sent to the house across the street, because that permit expired
House across the street, which.
across 41, when they say across the
Oh,
street.
okay.
That was done a long time ago, and I don't know what you guys wanna do about that either, but,
I mean, no one's occupying it.
Nobody's doing anything there. Or have they been doing anything there for a very long time? It's pretty obvious when you look at the house.
So.
it didn't pass anything. The kid was just doing stuff.
So we have three, we talked about this in the CDBG, you know, how we wanted to use this is a grant, CDBG grant we can get. One of the things we can use it for was tearing down buildings that, I forget what it, is it unsafe buildings?
Blight.
Blighted buildings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but apparently there would be a process that we would go through to declare the building, you know, I don't know if it's unsafe or blighted or
Yeah.
whatever. And I think you were here for this.
Yeah. Tim Brown was here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
That's right, you were here for that.
is that, So, because we have also, there's the house on Euclid Street.
Right, I'm working on that one,
What's the,
because it's just now been kind of released to an actual owner, so I wanna find out who that is. It was on tax sale, bought on tax sale, remember? So there was like that
no, you're
two,
thinking of.
Highland Street.
oh, I'm
Highland
sorry,
Street.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. There's
What
a-
was the other one you
The
were saying?
fire on Euclid Street that, Scott and
Oh.
Kelly owned it.
Okay, I think, but didn't you guys say that you need to kind of just talk to them and give them a chance to see?
Well, I
They-
think that's what they said, I think we're sending them a letter.
Yeah, well, they just need to be sent a permit. I think they would be happy to kind of fill it out. I can do that.
And then
You need an
Highland.
application for a permit.
Yeah,
application. Do we know if they have an intention? So
Mhm.
the context is the house had a fire.
Right, no, in Highland.
No,
No.
No,
Well,
previous fire.
Oh, okay.
So.
To look at the front, you can't really tell where the fire, all the damage is in the rear. It's not livable. And my understanding is the people that live next door got the house for like $1 or something.
Yeah,
And,
and I think they used the backyard,
yeah,
you know, it's been a benefit to them.
and I don't know, somebody said that they were gonna put in a pool and use that house as a pool house.
No,
I don't think so.
you really can't do that. I mean, I'm sure you understand, they can't have an accessory structure on the house. On a lot that doesn't have a primary structure. If that house isn't habitable, it's not a primary structure at that point.
Hmm.
Okay.
So, now, if they wanted to go and they wanted to make a one lot subdivision and combine the 2 yards, you know, okay, but I mean, you still have to do something with the burned house, right? I mean, it has to either get fixed or come down.
Mhm.
You can't just leave the crappy burnt house there.
So what's the process for resolving that? Because either they fix it,
Yeah.
so because sending them a permit application, that's the fix it path, but there's the tear it down path. And if they do neither, what do we do?
I don't know, you'd have to look, I'd have to be more familiar with your ordinance. I mean, there is, I'm sure you have an unsafe building ordinance.
absolutely.
So if you have an unsafe building ordinance, that would fall into that, right? I mean, it's an
Yeah.
unhabitable house.
Okay.
So can we try the path of maybe just giving them the benefit that they have a plan and send them an application?
I mean, I think we
see what they send back and
Sure.
I like
let's
to
say
give
in
them
the
an option.
application what they,
Because if you talk to Scott, he'll say that he tried getting permits from the previous one and he submitted permits and never got anything back.
you can do it again.
Or maybe we just have
So-
a conversation before we send a letter. But
Yeah.
I don't want to assume give him the benefit of the doubt that he wants to correct it.
Yeah,
But don't assume that he's gonna go to fix the building path. Maybe he wants to go to tear the building down path. And, you know,
I
it
mean,
might cost a lot less.
you could say, because there's demo options on the permit.
Okay. So.
You
This
still
is
gotta
getting
get a
extra-
permit when you
extra
demo a
clear.
building.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, so get a fix-it permit or a demo permit.
Yeah,
Correct.
Yeah.
I mean, demo permit then gets recorded at the county and then the county, that structure comes off the tax rolls.
Okay.
So,
yeah,
I forgot that
everything
there was
goes
a
to
permit
county.
for demolition.
you know, and your water has to be terminated, your sewer has to be terminated, your electric has to be terminated.
Yeah.
So,
I should have known because I got a demo permit for demo the house. Totally forgot. Okay. The house where the tree
On
house is
Ivy.
now, it's right directly behind me.
That's right. What else was there?
Yeah, I've been up to Bong's Ivy there. And then the Highland one, is that the same path? We reach out to the owner
Yeah,
and tell them
yeah,
you need to get a fix-it permit or a demo permit.
yeah,
And you
because
said-
before it was kind of limbo, so,
And it's the tax sale is completed?
yeah,
Now, is it all the way through that they've registered a tax deed?
yeah.
Okay, so it's not just the tax sale, but the whole.
September 12th, September 11th, it's been officially turned over.
Okay,
Where is that owner? Where does he live?
I'm supposing if it's still the same one, I mean, I don't know who got it. I don't know, that's what I mean, I need to figure that out first. I don't know if it's the person who got but I mean, the whole thing is over on the 10th, so everything is awarded on the 11th. Did the previous owners buy it back? I don't know.
Okay.
What's over on the 10th?
The whole thing,
The tax sale thing.
yeah,
It's been 1 year since it was sold on tax sale, is that correct?
yeah.
Yeah, but it doesn't automatically happen on the 1-year anniversary of.
Well, the
tax
letter
year.
that I got from the county stated that the ownership will be deemed to this person officially on the 11th
Okay,
after the 10th.
okay.
I just pulled that out a couple days ago to look at it, and I was like, cool, now we
I
can
just-
find out who it
you know, is
was.
somebody in California?
No, if it's who I looked up, I mean, Valparaiso.
Oh, okay. I actually didn't know that. I think you may have told me that.
Yeah,
Well, if somebody in Valparaiso, then I would think they'd want to move on it.
Yeah, the transfer isn't recorded at least I can't get it on the county auditor's website yet, so.
Probably take another year to get that on there.
Yeah, it could be once the year waiting period expires, you have to go to court. So like, maybe that's when it could be such a mess of a process. It might be still another step before it can be recorded, even though it's technically transferred, it's not been redeemed or,
so how do you prove if somebody is living in a house or not? Talking back about the one across 41.
I don't know.
Could you do like, have like an officer go over there and just kind of check?
Do you think someone's living there?
I mean, I don't know. There's cars and stuff over there.
Do the cars move?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Come on, Mr. Kravitz.
I
Have a
know.
very good snoop.
Like get some binoculars and just stare. I have no idea.
Yeah, okay. I could ask the police to just see if they think someone's living there.
They've been requested, and they said they won't go on someone's property for no reason. I think that's a reason. Like a wellness check?
Police can do wellness checks.
Yeah.
Police can do wellness checks.
And the police can observe to see if the cars are moving from not the property.
I mean, I just,
Last time I was over there, there's branches laying on the cars, the leaves have been
Okay.
not knocked off the cars forever.
yeah.
Okay, then,
Well, sinking into the dirt.
It's the end of September right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's been about 4 months, 3 months, 4
It might
months.
be footsteps, footprints.
Some footprints in the snow.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
yeah,
But
okay.
From somebody with 2 legs.
So we've got 5 things here. We've got the carburet rental that wasn't closed out, the 3 unoccupied buildings, as far as we know, 2 that burned, 1 across 41, and the elevator. And I think we should, take steps on all of them, try to get everything stitched up. And then it's just, we're not selectively enforcing, we're just getting where we should be, which is kind of fitting with, now we've got you as a building inspector and we wanna, just close up all the old stuff and make sure everything's where it needs to be going forward.
that driveway over there, isn't that officially a road that we have?
It is a road.
So could maybe, like, if the police are doing radar or whatever, maybe it could be requested that they park there
This is the one
across
across
41?
41.
I mean, because then maybe they'd be able to see anything.
Yeah,
It's like those sirens or something that you're talking about. Or?
No, it's just a house sitting there in the woods.
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. And then, take those through the unsafe building. Can you find the unsafe building ordinance and send me a copy? Or send me and Tim a copy? Okay.
Jenny and I had briefly talked about fees associated with building permits for down here, and the stuff that we found you guys had is extremely old. It's nowhere near worth what it should be worth.
Okay.
Oh, as far as the price of different things.
My suggestion was I gave you guys a copy of what we use, our ordinances, and maybe you guys look at adopting that as yours as well.
It works for me.
The fee schedule.
Yeah, the fee schedules.
Or just even if there's a, we can use the same building permit, building occupancy ordinance, probably more up to date, covers little details that maybe ours doesn't cover. You're saying like potentially adopt a whole ordinance, not just.
Yeah, whatever you want.
Yeah.
Like the 150 section of our ordinance stuff covers it, contractor licensing, the building permit. And it's pretty much what you pretty much have now. We've all kind of just, it was easy for everybody just to plagiarize Lake County stuff, which is pretty much what we did.
Yeah.
Right, I mean,
No
our
sense
ordinances aren't just like made up off the top of
Yeah,
our head,
right.
they're
There's no
definitely
sense in
compared,
No sense in reinventing the wheel.
right?
But we can review it to make sure it's what we want.
Yes.
It's appropriate for us, but.
But yeah, the fees definitely, because our fees go all over the place. And it's kind of really hard to
Okay.
construct fees, so the way Lowell has it, it's pretty black and white. If you're doing this, it costs this. If you're doing that, it costs that.
And some of them are a calculation, but that calculation is derived from the International Code Council. They publish a document every February and August, I think it is, or something, which is like a means sheet that we use. And so like when we calculate a new house, it's a spreadsheet. We take the square footage of the basement, square footage of first floor, square footage of second floor, how many plumbing fixtures do you have, how many furnaces, air conditioners do you have. It all goes into a spreadsheet and it kicks you out a number and there's the permit cost.
Okay.
So,
I kind of remember doing some of that with using EDUs.
yeah. So, some stuff we have is, it says, like stuff that falls under an IOP, which isn't a building permit, it's a location improvement permit. So like a fence, replace your driveway, a deck that falls under the non-attached floating deck portion of the code, all those things are $50. Put up a fence, $50. Redo your driveway, it's $50. Put up this floating deck, that fits these parameters, is $50. Put in a patio, it's $50. But other things like doing these remodels on these houses, we had a fire. There was a house, and I don't know how they got to this number, but a house across from the VFW had caught on fire.
Oh,
Right across from the VFW. Not a lot of damage, but $234,000 is what the insurance paperwork came in.
is that the one that's on that little cul-de-sac?
No, it's right on the corner. Like if you're going under the Woodbridge where Rich lives, it's on the corner of Mount and Million.
I didn't even know that one caught on fire.
Yeah, it was a deal where, somebody needed air conditioner put in their house, so they hired somebody off of Facebook. No licenses, no permits, no inspections. And they ran a line into the upstairs of this house to hook an air conditioner to. Well, they went right to the NIPSCO meter can, and they went on the line side, not the load side, they went on the line side and tied onto NIPSCO and buried a 12-gauge wire up till it came out the roof of the garage, ran on outside of the siding on the house, went through the soffit, into the bedroom where the air conditioner is going to be, and then changed from 12-gauge wire to 14-gauge wire on the 20-amp circuit and put an air conditioner on it, and that whole thing smoked. When this folks are cut the meter loose, so it didn't make any difference because he's on the line side.
Yeah.
You can pull the meter all day long, it's still hooked on the line side, which is the transformer side. Yeah, it was a mess.
That means they weren't billing for the.
Correct.
And
Yep.
stuff, electricity too.
You were absolutely
Oh my
right.
goodness.
So,
Wow.
but in a deal like that, with that, it was $236,000 bill, plus some plumbing that is in there for some reason, and HVAC work that's in there. Those are all separate. That building permit is $2,400 or so, something like that, to put that house back together. That's the permit cost, is $2,400.
Yeah.
But it's just a matrix, and it makes it easy to do. That's all.
I'm That sounds good to
So
me.
if you guys were to adopt that, you get, even we give you the spreadsheet and shit, that way when I get hit by a bus in 2 weeks, the janitor could be the building commissioner, and she can fill out the paperwork.
Thank you.
Just,
Or whoever's driving the bus.
Oh, no.
man.
Not me.
Uh,
Like, oh, look what you did. Now here's your new title.
So the run is over.
So we've got 5 houses to take next steps on, and we're gonna look at the unsafe building ordinance. We're gonna look at coordinating, or see if we can borrow from Lowell for, what are the specific ordinances? This wasn't just fees, but you're thinking,
Well, the one would be our fee ordinance.
okay.
Um,
But there's also,
you guys, I mean, ours get updated every so often. I don't know, you guys have a town attorney, or do you guys send your stuff off and get them updated, or? It's not,
We
it
just-
don't seem like it'd be a good deal all the time. Ours come back wrong too, but.
Yeah, I mean, we just updated ours on what,
Yeah, send it-
2020,
Send it
so.
like Ball State or somewhere, and they, or something like that, and that's where ours went one time. It went to Ball State or something, and they,
Yeah, I think they're the ones that actually do that. I can't remember the name of that.
and
Yeah, they review them and make sure that everything we're doing is legal.
so it sounds like there's an ordinance, like the ordinances that apply to you, there's a flood protection ordinance, that matters. There's, so our ordinance 2020-01 is destruction, alteration, relocation, and use of buildings and structures. And it's the one that I was just referencing here, and it's like 1, 2, 3, like 4 pages. Does that sound right?
that was which one?
2020-01.
That's ours?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's the unsafe building ordinance. So this is that like kind of about like what you would expect?
I think that's the one I showed you, like, or, yeah, when you first started.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. And so Lowell has an equivalent to this.
Yeah, something similar to that.
And then there's the unsafe building ordinance, which I didn't know about until that meeting. Are there any other ordinances that, or the fees that apply,
Fees.
affect you?
But that has to all be a chain, like a chain of custody for that fee thing, right? I mean, whoever writes the ticket has to be legally able to write the ticket, and then how that fee gets paid and all that. And I don't think ours is right. Ours might be a snag somewhere, but they're reviewing it again.
Okay.
And I think it has in our ordinance, I think there's a part that says authority.
Yeah. Yeah. The building commissioner is hereby authorized and directed to administer and enforce all the provisions of this code.
And that he can also request police officers to enforce that as well.
Yeah. Okay. So does that indicate
Get you a
that
badge.
No.
Get you a badge and a gun.
Like most people down here, they probably already have a gun.
Yeah.
Right? I just need the badge.
I don't have time for you today.
So, I put together, I went through all the permits. Can we switch over to the floodplain stuff? I don't think we need to go through all the things in detail, but run it all together. So I went through all the permits that they called out to us. And, first thing here is what they said. And then I've got some additional details. Like this first one, it's a steel building for Cartwright. You know, I looked at the permit to find that out. And it's probably already made of naturally flood-proof materials, so maybe just documenting that is all we need to do. And I've got this internal/external, like, can we resolve it ourselves, or do we need to like reach out to the building owner? Some of them we can probably just resolve ourselves by documenting. Like the second one is an example of that. They're saying that permit, the 2022-09, they're saying we need a substantial improvement modification determination or all the other stuff. And with the construction cost was $14,800, so that's going to be less than half the assessed value. So we just need to document that and say this is not a substantial improvement.
What was this permit? 2209.
What? 2022-09?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a roof.
Well, they're doing that right now.
I know. That's why I was kind of surprised. Stylecraft was the contractor, Jack's Restaurant and Bar.
And says he's working on it now.
Right, so can we just say that this is,
Well, no, they're still gonna, I think DNR is gonna want us to document this permit, but I think it's as easy as a little form that says cost of, repairs, $14,800.
but what they're doing now is like a whole reconstruction of a roof,
Overgrowth.
inside and out. So I mean, this is pretty much invalid anymore.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, it's not invalid, it's already been done,
right,
obviously some time ago, so it's still a permit.
right, but can we, but,
Yeah.
right, but what I mean is like, can we just let them know that this new existing permit, that they're working right now?
I don't-
Like, this roof is no longer there.
I don't think they care if the roof is no longer there or not.
Okay,
I think the easiest thing to do is to print out a copy of the property director card, pull the valuation, show that this is less than 50%.
What if
Put
it's
it
more
in
than
the file.
50%? Then what's the,
Then they have to,
Then they have to build it according to floodplain rules and regulations, correct?
right. And so I can pull that up. It's in the ordinance. It's article, so this is the outline. It's Article 5, Section B and C gives all the standards of what they have to do.
and it's only a price issue, it's not a what they're doing issue?
It is,
how does a roof go for floodplain standards?
That's,
It has to leak and let the water go through.
Well, mine's
I
working
have one
great.
like that.
so, if it's not a substantial improvement, there's a whole lot less that has to be done. If it is a substantial improvement, then, are you in the B, where are you?
no, I just got into 5 here. The general standards.
So yeah, all new construction or,
All new construction, reconstruction, or repairs to a repetitive loss structure, substantial improvement shall be anchored to prevent collapse. Okay. New constructions.
So it sounds like if it's not a substantial improvement, you don't even have to worry about that. You know, if
Well,
it's,
yeah, but a substantial improvement, like she said, it's solely being driven off of the cost, not the work that's done, right? I mean, so it's a 2-story building and they're working on the 2nd floor of it, right? I mean, if we get that much water, forget it, right? But you're not gonna have to put, but you're not gonna put flow throughs and stuff in that building because you're reframing the roof.
so you're saying right now they're reframing the roof
Yeah.
and all the work's on the 2nd floor?
All the work's on the 2nd floor. They're reframing the roof, they put a metal roof on it, they restructured the roof, they're doing some electric, because of the roof restructuring.
They're
It's all on the
definitely
roof.
doing substantial improvements
Yeah.
right now.
Right.
But it doesn't matter the amount of work, it solely seems to be, it's a dollar amount.
Yeah, that,
Right? If it's
I
more than
think,
50% of the cost of the building,
I think that's a good question for them tomorrow, cause I
Yeah.
can't see, like, I could see something that's being like an addition on a house where you're
right, if you're
like
putting
adding
addition on,
something on
you're
the
adding square
ground.
footage, you're
Yeah.
doing something at grade level. But I mean, this is an existing structure that hasn't had any issues from floodplain issues. This was a roof failure and some rot on the roof, and they're restructuring the roof. So maybe she says, yeah, it doesn't matter, that counts, and then we have to see what that building's cost, because I gave them a permit, I may have messed that up.
Yeah, it depends. I mean, I think it is a substantial improvement. So they'll want a substantial improvement determination. I meant to contact you and say, hey, before you issue any permits, let's make sure we sit down and talk about the floodplain. So it's on me for not getting together with you on that.
Well, but it's not done either, so the permit is still
Yeah, but if we
open.
go back over there and go, okay, look, because your building is worth $100,000 and you're spending 70, that's more than 50%.
Yeah.
Now you have to put foundation louvers in your building.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure that they think that building is worth 400,000.
The
Thank,
county or Jack or whoever owns it.
yeah,
Somebody owns it. That's
Yeah.
what they got it up for sale for.
Yeah.
We might be able to call it a non-substantial improvement. There are, so I found a FEMA guide on how you determine substantial and non-substantial improvement. And you can use the tax assessment, or you can get like a certified appraisal,
Mhm.
or you can use, kill the blue book. No, it was, what's that? So you can use replacement cost and applying a depreciation factor. So, the tax assessment doesn't quite make it. It would be a substantial improvement if we use that, but if we use, I think the property record card has the replacement cost, and if we, depending on what the depreciation amount is, we might be able to make it.
And you can always go on the county GIS and look at the tax records and see what the assessed value is, right? I mean,
yeah, that's
I mean,
easy.
It's in the permit. I mean, it's already in there. The assessed valuation is slightly less than, the cost is slightly more, the cost of the project is slightly more than 50% of the assessed valuation. So it would be a substantial improvement.
That 15,000?
No, that 15,000 isn't.
Oh, you already have that roof on this paperwork?
I mean the new one. Yeah, I added the new permits. Yeah, it's on the, should have put page numbers on this. It's on the third to last page.
Yeah, the
2025
72,000.
01.
I mean, this deck that we just did, that was $7,400. I mean, that's not a substantial improvement.
Right.
If it is, I'm gonna start buying houses in Snyder. The houses are 14 grand.
But
The one that you just did?
No, the deck?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's this front deck and the back porch.
Okay, all right.
Those are both replacements. So those are both done.
so I think if we just,
Yeah, it was this one right here that they're doing now. So I mean, that would mean that, you know, from the tax records or whatever, the Jax was worth less than 150 grand, yeah.
the tax records show 135,600. But we don't have to use that. There's other
Okay.
ways we could determine value. So if we use the tax records also have a replacement cost.
Because here's the other problem with that, right? I mean, we talk about some LED, remember that it's coming tomorrow. Okay, so you tell Henderson's, okay, you can't, here's what you gotta do, right? So they go, okay, we would like a permit to do this part of it,
Right.
and then we'll get a permit to do this part of it.
I think that's permissible
So,
by our floodplain ordinance. I mean, it's a question for the DNR. I think they might not like that, but
not
So-
liking something and it not being legal,
Right, I
they're
know.
two different things.
Right.
so the reason I think it might be legal.
You're talking about doing it that way to keep the cost.
Yeah,
of
keep
the
you
project
do it as
down.
basis.
Yeah.
And if they're truly separable projects, not just one project that you made an arbitrary line, but like you can do the roof separately from, you know.
So you do the roof and the roof framing and you keep that under the 50% mark.
Right.
And you finish that project and you come pull a permit to finish the inside.
Mhm.
Different project, wait a week.
I think they do the roof framing and come back like for another, to do the shingle.
Yeah, no, that would be sketchy. But the reason I think that might be permissible is because the document on, the FEMA document I found on substantial improvement modifications says municipalities can adopt a higher threshold if they want, or communities, I think they use the word. And that it can be a rolling window of like, here's how much work you've done in the past 12 months, can't be more than 50% of the value, but we didn't do that. It's just each individual permit. So if it's things that legitimately can be done as two permits, not like sheeting is one permit and shingles another, that's silly. That I think that's a way we can help, you know, a way that people could comply with the regulation. Or if we can find a way to justify a higher value legitimately, we only need it like 6% higher to meet that 50% threshold. And that same document said you can use the replacement cost with the depreciation value. So if we use the property record card has a replacement cost of $341,000, and if we say it's like 70% depreciated, I think we'll meet our numbers.
Good thing's a commercial space, I've never been in that building, it's commercial space on the bottom and two rentals up top, do I understand that correct?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
Oh, one is a 1 bedroom, one is a 2 bedroom.
But then the question is, if it's not, if it is a substantial improvement, so now you've got to comply with more regulations in the floodplain ordinance, and what does that mean for stuff that's all above the flood protection grade? Because I think it's saying the section 5 and specific standards, section C inside of section 5, subsection, where is it now? Under the residential construction. New construction, resident 2A, new construction or substantial improvement of any residential structure shall meet provisions described in Article 5, Section A, and applicable general standards described in Article 5, Section B. New construction or substantial improvement of any residential structure shall have the lowest floor, including basement, at or above the flood protection grade. So like, does that mean it has to be elevated? you know, have you changed the elevation of the floor when you're changing a roof and working on the second floor?
Yeah.
But it says, new construction or substantial improvement of any residential structure shall have the lowest floor, including basement, at or above the flood protection grade. If that's just new work that's done, well then, okay, doesn't.
So hopefully when this person gets here tomorrow, we can go through this list, we can get these all cleaned up, right?
Yeah.
Spend a little time, get these cleaned up. And then we have we have the Cartwright house that maybe is still an open permit. We have the barn, which is an open issue. Then you got Jack's, which is an open issue. So there's 3 potentially open building permits right now. That's it, right? So other building permits in town that are gonna come in are gonna be what? For the most part, they're gonna be, I mean, if you foresee anybody coming out here to build a new house anytime soon,
No.
then we are really gonna have to pay a shit
Especially with
attention
these
to
rules,
this,
you
right?
don't see that.
I need one.
To build a new house.
I'm the last builder of a new house, it was 9 years ago.
Yeah, but I mean, somebody might wanna put up a garage, right? I mean, I would think somebody's gonna wanna
Well, someone did.
put up an accessory garage.
Yeah.
Before you build a house, you wanna put up an accessory garage, right? And so it's gotta be built out of, this portion of this has gotta be built out of flood permeable materials, right? So if it's built out of treated 6x6s and steel, so what kind of flood permeable? Maybe it has to have the pass-throughs in it, so the water can run through it, right? It's gotta be grilled or whatever.
So you got like a square inch of venting for each square foot,
But
I think enclosed.
Somebody that can one day just take where that, it's an existing house, the front and rear steps were rotten on it, and you put your front and rear steps on it. It's not gonna affect.
It's a non-substantial improvement, but we have to have paperwork showing that we evaluated whether it was a non-substantial
So that
improvement.
makes that's just something after we have a conversation with this lady, we get a better handle on that, and we incorporate that into every single building permit, regardless of what it is. We have a place where it says, yes, this is substantial, see the next 8 pages. No, this is not substantial, move on.
So that's what I think they're asking for, show us your permit or your process. So I put something together.
Okay.
Well, this is yes.
It's always
Right
yes.
off the
It's always-
bat,
it's
yeah.
always-
But I figured it's worth just including the question, so
Is there any part of Schneider that's not in the floodplain?
No, it's
Any
all
part?
considered because nothing has been taken out. Like this building has never been taken out. For example, David's home has never been taken out.
technically if someone could file a letter of map amendment and get their structure removed, which is also covered by question C and D.
C should be question A, I think.
Yeah, we can move them around. I mean, C and A are related.
Because if you put no, then you don't need to complete the form, but it'd be like, well, wait a minute, we need this letter. Well, we still need to submit this to them tomorrow anyway. See what they think. This?
Yeah. But I think that they're asking for what is your floodplain permit? That was one of the questions they asked for. And so I put this together this morning.
Yeah, but I thought he said when you tagged me in the email, when you asked all these questions about what needs to be added to our new permit, he said it's fine, it's up to the building inspector to go through all of the things that, because we're all in a floodplain, so it doesn't matter, everything has to be built accordingly. The verbatim, when they sign it, do they know that they have to go with it? I mean, yes, stuff like this is nice to attach so people can be aware that these things are important. But to make a permit in Schneider that's 50 pages long, I think it's just gonna be, you won't get any permits. You will get none. And you're gonna need more people enforcing and stopping building than anything. That's gonna cause a big problem if someone's gotta fill out a 20-page application.
Yeah, this is mostly no, yes, give us the valuations. So we don't have to use this. There's other ways to comply, but if we don't have, like, this is kind of a process, like it's a little decision tree. If this, yes, then that, and this.
I mean, this might be a good guideline for us to follow.
We have to have something internally.
While a permit is being used.
But so key things on this that are maybe important is letting them know these 2 notices that you have to, upon placement of the lowest floor, if somebody, builds a new building, which may never happen, but I think DNR wants to see that we have the process to handle that if it does. That the elevation must be certified before you go beyond the first floor. That's something we have in our ordinance. And then letting them know you're gonna have to give us a elevation certificate when you're done. Those are pretty key things. There's a portage form that I found that was in some of the emails that just modified. I didn't have to start from 0 on this. I took the portage form and modified it. But hopefully, most things will just get to that substantial improvement modification thing and stop. And you don't have to do any more because you're not a substantial improvement.
SFHA.
Special flood hazard area. Just that's the technical kind of floodplain.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel really strongly that if you add something like this to a permit, people are just gonna be like, forget it. You don't understand a lot of the verbatim of it. I think it'd be a great checklist for us to use while we go. You can ask those questions before the permit's issued. I'm just saying.
Well, why don't you let the guys that are here tomorrow?
And maybe we make a simplified form just for small things that it just goes straight to the non-substantial modification. Or we put that on our existing permit of what's the cost of the value, what's the valuation, what's the cost of your project, if less than 50%. Proceed, if not, you have to fill out this additional form.
That was what I asked you, if you wanted me to do that to the permit, because there's a project cost. And I asked you if you wanted me to add a line that said what is the assessed value of your thing. I could put that on there, and that tells us right away.
Yeah, so we could do that. But the whole process is more complicated.
Right, but that can't fall on the homeowner. That's our job, to be complicated. I guess.
Yeah. And I could
wait a minute.
Here's the
See,
portage.
that's where remember when I told you I don't have any more? Do you remember that from the conversation
don't have
yesterday
any
on the way
more
up
what?
there?
Does it start with an F
No.
and end with an S?
Patience.
Oh, I use a different word.
Do you have any more to give?
No.
All out?
Yeah.
So this is the portage form. It just has 2 questions at the beginning, and then it's got the list of what you have to submit, and the note you've got to give us a elevation certificate of your floor before you continue. But what it's got in here is, I think it's asking for, it doesn't cover the non-substantial improvement modification stuff, like it's, you know, it makes you submit all the details of things, even if it's not a substantial improvement.
I think you're right, and we have a duty, I think, internally to have a better handle on some of this stuff. Because God forbid, I mean, you know, the thing and everything that would spawn building down here would be, you know, a horrendous fire or a tornado. Right? I mean, if we have a tornado come through here, and 4 or 5 houses, 6 houses or something go down, then all of this comes into play.
Oh yeah, and it comes into play like
whether you're gonna let them build them back, right?
really fast.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, my own personal opinion is all this stuff is going into place because DNR does not want it built back.
Right. I mean, that's the other factor. I mean, you're absolutely right. I'd like to be able to tell them tomorrow something like, we know we need to comply with the rules, but the rules are trying to put us out of business. Like, I get it. This town was built in a floodplain when that was considered okay. It's not considered okay anymore. You know, in a way, these rules are trying to kill our town. But
Well, it's exactly the same thing that happened in Samava. You can do nothing in Samava anymore. In fact, if your house burns down, you won't put it back. They won't let you.
why?
Because they want Samava to go away.
Okay.
Because we got advantages here because we've got municipal sewer and water.
Right.
They don't have either of that. They've got their well here, and right next to it they have a septic system, if you want to call it that, which is nothing more than a tank with a pipe coming out.
Yeah.
And it all gets mixed in with the flood water.
Note to self, swim upstream.
Yeah.
Yeah, swim north.
Yeah. So we should ask them. I mean, the simpler we can make it for the homeowners, I'm all for that. I just took the Portage form, added some questions, so they would actually have less work to do because they could just get to, oh, I'm doing a $15,000 project on a $200,000 house. I'm done. You know.
Yeah.
But we could do that for them. We could just have them submit, for instance, total project cost
I
$15,000.
think that is the best way to go.
But I like the idea of having this so that, like a Hen and Sons, you know, they're looking at this. If what needed to happen on that project was do the roof, then do the interior, make them 2 things, because they don't know this either. And one of the things that a form like that does is it kind of teaches you the rules. They're showing you what answers you're going to get based off, what result you're going to get based off of what answers you do. And it could help them.
I could even put like a little asterisk under that total project cost and then assessed value of your house, put a little asterisk and for floodplain development purposes.
Yeah.
That way it's like, you know, if they're like, why do you need to know how much my home's worth? And there's a little quick answer, and then they can be like, oh, okay, this might be a little bit more involved. So that way it just lets them know kind of right
So
away.
give me a high number on your
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah.
so that this comes underneath that.
And we could say if greater than 50%, you need to fill out this other form.
I still think that this needs to be something that unfortunately Tim will fill out as the permit goes. Or because,
It's 10, I don't care.
yeah.
Well,
but
I still want them agreeing to, or maybe we fill it out, we bring it to them.
and they're signing on the
But they need
permit
to-
that they're agreeing to all floodplain rules.
Yeah, they need to agree. Well, I like having you agree to all floodplain rules, but I also want to point them to the floodplain rules. So I wanted to add to this where it says, you know, if you get to this point, you have to comply with says, you know, if you're at this point, you're going to comply with sections B and C, that we could link to a copy of the floodplain ordinance so they can pull it up. Or, I don't know.
I mean, if we put that on there, and like your first question is like you make that a worksheet, and go, you know, the first one is the assessed value of your house, line A. assess, the value of your construction project, line B. Do the math. Is line C greater than 50% of A? If it's not, you're done.
Yeah.
Right, you're done.
Yeah.
If it is, change line A.
Right.
Change line B. Wait a minute. My
Increase
project,
by
my project only
40%.
cost 60,000, not 70,000. Nope. I'm at 49%.
Yeah.
I'm good to go. And that's what I'm doing if I'm down here.
Right.
I'm
Now I know.
altering my numbers, right? I mean,
And we have to,
no one's going to verify that.
well, we have to verify.
You can't verify what someone's construction cost. Just like you
No,
do
no,
now.
no,
Right.
the valuation.
Right, you can, yeah, but the valuation, we all know what it is, right? It's on the county website, it's gonna go with tax valuation, write that on there.
Right.
And then if I'm doing $80,000 worth of work on my house, and that's gonna put me over 50%, the amount of work on my house, that number on this piece of paper just went to 60. Move on. And,
But, so the floodplain, we require that they give us quotes. They can't just state a number.
right, but I'm doing the work myself, okay, I'll give you a quote, what do you want it to say?
Okay, yeah, you're doing
I'm
the
taking
work
this from
yourself.
home, what do you
Right.
want it to say?
And most people doing the work themselves, the figure's gonna be far away from 50%. So yeah, I don't think we need to go through.
But I guess that's the point I'm trying to make a little bit is, so me doing the work myself, where my labor has, no financial value versus me paying Hen to do the same job, where they gotta pay their guys with, labor and benefits are $50 an hour. Just because of the labor costs, one of those is substantial and the other one's not. The scope of work didn't change.
No,
Right.
that's not actually true. If somebody does the work themselves, you're supposed to assess what the cost would be.
Well, yeah, there's still a construction cost, but I think what he's saying is is that $75,000 worth of construction cost including the labor and of all of those guys that are working?
Well, sure it does.
Absolutely. So that's not even, that's
It's
a
cost
big
of construction,
difference.
And that's all they're focused on is the cost of construction.
Right. So
So
that
when
kind
I
of
buy
hurts
a
the
home,
substantial,
or
the
a
50%.
And I'm the homeowner, I'm not factoring in my cost of labor.
No. Well, unless you're gonna write yourself a check.
Because I know, when we do capital assets and when I had to add in the improvements that were done to the water plant, I had to leave out all the labor and just put what the improvement cost is. So that $75,000 is what Heather and Ryan are paying, and that's including labor. So that's really not a fair calculation.
Yeah.
I think that's what you're saying.
Cost of construction for the high school, right? When the high school puts on a new wing, right? The cost of construction is the mobilization, it's the dirt work, it's the utilities, it's the brick and the mortar, it's the carpet, it's the lights, it's the ceiling, it's the switches. It is not the desks, the chairs, the pictures, right?
Right, but-
They have to figure that into their portion because they still have to buy that stuff.
Right.
Right, so ultimately for them, yes, that has to figure into their budget. But from the building department standpoint, I don't care what you spend on computers, right? That's not a life safety issue. We're not inspecting that.
Right.
Right? So, those are the places where this gets a little bit wonky.
Yeah.
Well, it gets, well, here, let me read you part of
Here, let me
this.
make it muddier.
No, I think this might unmuddy it. How are estimates for donated or discounted materials and the owner's labor or volunteer labor determined? The value placed on all donated and discounted materials should be equal to the full actual estimated cost of such materials and must be included in the total cost. Where materials or service equipment are donated or discounted below market values, the cost should be adjusted to amounts equivalent to normal market costs.
What is that from?
This is a FEMA guide on how to do a substantial improvement determination.
Okay.
When property owners do their own work or if volunteer labor is used, then the normal market value or going rate for labor must be included in cost estimates. The value of labor should be estimated based on applicable minimum hourly wage rates for the skill and type of construction work that will be done. Wage rates can vary geographically. So doing your own work
Making wages.
doesn't get you out of.
Correct. I understand that.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, back to my scenario, right? So, you have Bill's Home Improvements, who pays his guys a minimum wage, so they make $7.85 an hour to come and put your room addition on. Or you have Skillman, who it was a union shop and they're gonna be, you know, 110 an hour for guys with benefits.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the 785. So if
Oh, yeah.
I'm still way under, right? I mean, so I'm just saying from our point of view, especially her, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we all do other stuff. She does this every day in that office by herself. For her to have an argument with some guy goes, I don't think you're charging yourself enough labor on here. This should be higher. We're never gonna have them discussions.
Yeah. And when it's somebody doing their own roof,
Yes.
like who cares about a few $1,000s of labor because it's way under the 50%.
Yeah.
So normally that won't matter, but yeah, I mean you're right. The rules they don't
You know,
want.
unless that thing had something there that said you will use like the ICC cost per square foot.
Yeah.
Right? Which doesn't it
doesn't
goes,
say that.
here's what new construction is, right? It costs, here's an average, it costs this much a square foot. You're putting a second story on your house, don't care what you say it's gonna cost you, because maybe what you say it's gonna cost. Here's the other difference, right? I'm gonna put a second story on my house, you're gonna put a second story on your house. We both have the same 20 by 40 house, right? Mine's getting an acrylic shower only in the bathroom, one toilet, one sink, one vanity, right? And in your space, you decided to do a custom tile shower and a whirlpool tub and a dual vanity, all in the same space. I have more floor space, you have more stuff. Your bathroom costs $25,000, mine costs $8,000.
Right.
We're doing the same work. So how do you count? That's the problem with this government nonsense.
Yeah, it's
And that's the
arbitrary.
thing, so FEMA
I just
is,
wanted someone to say it's arbitrary.
Yeah, I'm with you.
All right, I'm good.
so, and FEMA is, they're a federal organization, and I can tell you, I know what they're talking about when you read that, because I had to do labor law standards on our grants, and I did that for free, like a silly person. And they're talking about Davis-Bacon wages. And when you get the book on when I have to ask these grown men to stop working so I can see their pay stub, and then I have to find in a book like this exactly what their job is to make sure that they're getting paid that standard. So that's what they're referencing off of. So hopefully I don't have to pick apart a building permit and look
We're
at
not
this
doing
big,
that.
huge, yeah,
We're not doing
I'm
that.
definitely not doing that.
I mean, when we did the bathrooms here a bazillion years ago, that guy from the county came down and you had to talk to my guys to make sure we understood they were getting paid, you know.
Yeah, by the way, we got a problem with that bathroom.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I think the warranty's expired on that.
Yeah.
Time ago.
That was like 2012.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't want to.
Quit using it. Quit eating
Yeah.
that janky ass popcorn and using it. Maybe the problem will go away.
Yeah. So I don't want to pick apart people's things, but yeah, we do need to know what the rules are. But I think when somebody's doing their own roof and they tell us $7,500 cost per project, we know they're not including their labor. But even if we did, we know that if we included $10,000 of labor, it's still well under the 50% threshold.
Yeah.
Nobody should be themselves doing a project that's 50% of the value of their whole house or close to it. So I think we'll be fine to not worry about that. But
Well, all these questions can be answered tomorrow,
Yeah.
perhaps.
so I want to come away from tomorrow with concretely what we need to do for each of these things. And I think some of them is going to be just producing a piece of paper that says, at the top says, substantial improvement determination, cost of project, $14,500, value of house, $30,000, or 300,000, ratio, 12%, whatever, is substantial improvement? No. And we put that in the file, because that's what they're saying when they say some of these, they should please provide non-substantial improvement determination from the town, or accurately completed as-built elevation certificate building plans. I think we just have to document it. Even though we all know the $17,000.
I see that potentially being a
Right.
bigger deal where people need to have a documented elevation plan. Where you have to have somebody come down here and do it. Sure, that's $1,000.
I know.
Yeah, that don't be a
Right.
problem.
I mean, and $1,000 is a real estate survey. That's not an iron bar survey. An iron bar survey is probably twice that much, where they come and actually drive stakes in your yard, because it takes a whole lot longer for the surveyors to do that than it does to come down and just kind of go, yeah, it's pretty close to where you're at, and here's your height, right?
Yeah.
But
No, I got
So,
it.
yeah, can we ask actually about that survey, like, how exactly that can be done, because if we're going to require surveys for projects, that's gonna be an issue too.
If it's a non-substantial improvement, we don't have
Right.
to worry about it.
Right,
If it's a,
but to add another $1,000 or so on a project,
they're trying
So
to.
we require a plat, for pretty much every project.
You have a what?
A plat survey for every project.
Yeah,
Because we also want to, like, even this little porch over here, we want you to draw on the plat where this is going. Because we want to make sure that you ain't drawing it onto the neighbor's property. you know?
right, but would you be able to use something like a GIS? Like if I'm
No,
gonna.
GIS is a
No,
legal document.
okay,
It's a picture.
so pull up 2024-04 on the one, like 5th page. So this is the pole barn on Parish. So it's a concrete foundation on a wood frame, appears to not have electrical or mechanical.
it does now.
It does?
Yep,
As
they
electrical.
reapplied for the permit, or they added it on later. So
Okay,
it
well, the
does.
DNR is not looking at, this permit doesn't say anything about electrical or mechanical.
Okay,
So, as far as complying with this permit, yeah, I didn't, that's, okay. So, can this comply, the question is, can this comply through verifying it is built from floodproof materials and has the appropriate amount of floodwater venting? And we can skip the elevation certificate because, you know,
Which one are you looking at? 24. Oh, no. Oh, I'm looking at the, I'm sorry.
a similar permit like this, maybe I should have, Dave, there was a,
this is a brand new build, where Dave's is an extension on his build.
and it was actually attached to the house?
No, it's a
It's
disattached,
attached to an existing pole barn.
yeah, he just
Oh.
made his pole barn bigger,
Okay,
and where this is a brand new.
that's why they said they are wondering if they can't tell if it's attached or not, okay. So I think the requirements are, like the non-substantial improvement modification doesn't count on an accessory building or separate, like, that's if you're changing something on your house already, or like adding a porch, or remodeling the bathroom, or even adding on another room, I think. But, so this was a new pole barn, so
Unattached.
unattached. And it's accessory structures. Is it 400 square feet or less? 'Cause,
I don't know, I'm gonna say, no, I'm gonna say it's bigger than that.
yeah, what was the permit number?
2404.
I'm gonna say
It is-
it's about 1,000 square feet.
60 by 30. 1800.
Way more.
Yeah, so it doesn't count as an accessory structure. As per the floodplain ordinance, that I asked to try to increase the size of permitted for accessory structure and they wouldn't let us. Or they let us only go up to 400 square feet, I think.
Oh,
So,
So can my house just count as an accessory structure?
you can't occupy, accessory structure,
Oh.
use shall be limited to parking of vehicles or boats, limited storage and workshop space.
Okay.
And shall not be used for human habitation, and has a floor area of 400 square feet or less. So I think that, would it be under residential or non-residential?
I'm not sure, because that's not, I mean, that's a completely DNR or FEMA. That's not building code.
Okay,
I mean, the building code is going the other way. Like, you know, Indiana was claiming to have this giant house shortage, right? So they're allowing people to have in-law quarters built on the same property now. You can have, you can build a small house and put your mother-in-law in it on your property if you want. You can turn accessories.
Wow. Wow, this
She
is
got
going well.
flushed there for a minute.
She doesn't even have a mother-in-law.
Oh, I thought you were just talking about my mom, period.
Oh.
So I don't, what do they classify?
Sorry,
I
Mom.
mean, an accessory structure is any structure that's not your primary structure. That's where the word accessory comes from. So I don't know what they're, and that's in the DNR paperwork or that's in the FEMA paperwork? Where were you reading that from?
I was reading it from our floodplain ordinance.
From your floodplain ordinance?
Right, so they came to us earlier this year and said, your floodplain ordinance is not in compliance with what you have to be we joined the FEMA program. Remember what it is?
Okay.
A long time ago.
Any government program.
Yeah, I wish. Well, National Flood Insurance. So the thing we have tomorrow is to discuss your community's participation in the National Flood Insurance Program.
Okay.
So I think that was where.
Can we just pull out of it and then we don't even have to worry about any of that stuff?
No, I don't think so, because I think all mortgages require that you have flood insurance if you're in a special flood hazard area, regardless of whether your community participates.
Okay,
Yeah,
so you
but
could
it doesn't
still,
necessarily mean that you gotta buy the flood insurance through the government though.
no, you don't, because I didn't when I first bought mine.
Right. So I'm happy to ask them, like, could we pull out of the National Flood Insurance Program? What are the consequences of that?
And
That's a good question to ask. Anyway.
I think we did ask something similar to it, and I think the answer was something like, okay, well, if you have a flood that washes you out, FEMA won't give you a substantial amount of money. It's just up to your flood insurance.
Anyway.
Yeah.
What do you mean FEMA that comes out and looks to see which sign you had in your front yard to determine whether or not you get funds, that FEMA?
Yeah,
But,
well.
so the 400 square feet, go back to that for a second.
Yeah.
Where's your monkey?
It's notification.
Oh.
It's kind of cool. Yeah, the 400 square feet.
That's as large an accessory structure as you're allowed to have? Or I didn't quite understand what we were.
To have the structure categorized as an accessory structure for purposes of the flood ordinance, which relaxes some of the requirements, it has to be less than 400 square feet.
So what if it's more than 400 square feet? Then
It doesn't count as an accessory structure, and I guess I don't know if it counts as.
so you don't get any insurance protection on it? Is that the?
No, I think that the ordinance has, okay, so this is the specific standards. We're in section 5. So many words, oh my goodness. Provisions for flood hazard reduction, floodplain status standards. So these are the things we have to do, that we're saying we'll do. And then there's general standards, then there's specific standards. So,
Isn't this one of the reasons why we pulled out of the URC?
URC? Oh,
The,
non-residential, and then manufactured homes, accessory structures. Those are all like peers. So this is the definition. So accessory structures just have to meet this definition requirements, I think. Or maybe they're saying you can't have a garage greater than 400 square feet.
well, that's why he applied for a variance, so he could make it bigger.
A floodplain variance?
No, so he could make a bigger garage. If you're saying that nobody can build a garage that big, he did do that.
I was thinking the way it would be,
I mean, a pretty standard 2-car garage, accessory garage is a 24 by 30, that's 720 square feet.
yeah.
You
He's
put 2 cars in.
I know.
he's
I mean,
putting a
it's-
semi
it's
in it or something like that.
Yeah.
So I mean, or
So typically, the accessory structure can't be over 16 feet high either. So.
or like excavators or whatever he does for a living.
I haven't seen anything come or going from it, so.
Nothing like that. I mean, I think he just parks regular. I mean, but I don't know. It's not like I really
Yeah,
care.
I'm not in town, but I have never seen anything come or go from the garage.
I know why I can't find it, because it was in red lines on the document. But, yeah, I asked them, can we increase this, the square footage, and they said no. I could go find the specific where they said that.
Can I take this and make a copy of it and bring it back?
You can have it.
I have this.
Yeah.
Do you have a copy of this?
Mhm.
Like this?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's our floodplain ordinance, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I figured you needed a copy, and we needed to have it when we met with them.
Can
They
we-
asked us to bring it to the meeting, so.
Yeah. Can question number 1 tomorrow be like, can we just pull out?
Yeah. Okay.
That'll make me.
Put it out.
Yeah. Because if he says yeah, and then I think that's what we should do.
Well, so what are the consequences of it?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, once we find out what the consequences are, because this is just getting way too difficult.
And so here's also so some questions I had on that theme. When we have to contact a homeowner, a commercial property owner, you know, so under the corrective, I said, you know, are we requiring or requesting that the owner correct the problem? If we're requiring that they correct the problem, what authority do we have to require this? Which part of which ordinance? Like, show me the specific paragraph that says, and what is the consequence if they don't?
Didn't he? I'm just referring from the meeting that we had with them.
Yeah.
And they said that we're required to fix the problem because it's our fault that we let it happen. That we could be the ones that have to pay for it. Like if Mr. Durham's garage is something that has to have drainage or whatever, that's up to us to pay to have that done. They specifically said that.
Okay.
Because
I
this is
forgot
our
that.
bad.
So that reminds me, I think something else they said it was that if the things don't comply, we can get kicked out of
Sing it in my
the
pocket.
the flood insurance thing.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think you're right, that fits. So we're going to the homeowner saying, pretty please correct this? Or do we go to the homeowners and say, pretty please let us bring some contractors in and start cutting holes in the side of your building?
But
to have
they
flood
might,
vents?
some of them might be like if I spent a lot of money on a really nice garage and I didn't know about all this information and I don't want anything to happen to my stuff
Yeah.
in case, I might be totally okay with complying. But then if I'm like, what? You're telling me this now when my permit's been done? And then it would be up to us to fix it.
Right. So I think there's a few permits that we're gonna run into having to have something done maybe. So the 2022-07 is where Cartwright got a steel building built. And so steel is probably floodproof. But it-
Is this that one that they put on inside their plant?
Yeah, 2022, I think.
I vaguely remember.
They on 2 other properties because now remember when I pulled these permits, I pulled a couple from each year. They wanted
Yeah.
so many permits, like a random pull for so many years.
Okay.
Because at first they said they wanted every single one for the last 10. And so I was like, can we just do a random pull? They actually, on the homes that they own, they just put like little, what everybody's done without permits actually in this town, is put like, you know, you buy like a little building and put it on your property to put your lawnmower in.
Oh, okay.
That's all it is. It's like a shed. There we
That's the
go.
Cartwright one?
Mm-hmm. That's, I mean, another one. The one on Highland.
This was a pretty big
Oh, that one? Then
2022-07.
they did put that on their property, yeah, I think.
It's,
See, I can't, doesn't say exactly what these permits are, so.
yeah, I've got the copies all here.
Yeah.
Maybe I should print them all out. But 2022-07. There's a contractor, MX Neuter,
Mm-hmm.
but their whole permit fee was $3,600. So I'm guessing it was,
Is there a drawing or a plan?
no.
It doesn't say what their, okay, so it is on their commercial building with electrical for staging purposes, 3 wire, 1 phase. They poured concrete and structured steel.
Yeah. So then the next permit is, I've got red where we think we have to contact them. There's a pool that they're saying we need to verify all the electrical and chemicals is at a certain elevation.
Is that Highland as well?
No. 2603 West 236th Avenue.
236, okay.
And then there's Dave Durham's pole barn. And then there's the pole barn we were just talking about in Parrish.
Okay,
And then we might have a problem with the permit for the bar and grill, the 72,000 for the.
here's my thing, what also happens if that's not, it's being listed under a restaurant? What if it's not used for a restaurant? How do you change that? I mean, on a commercial building, do they have to, see, we don't have business permits or whatever, like, I think we talked about that vaguely.
We do occupancy permits, so before
Yeah.
before a business, I mean, the owner didn't have to change on the building, but when the bait and tackle shop goes out and the restaurant goes in, we do an occupancy permit with the fire inspector.
What if the same owners start changing things?
Same thing,
Okay.
when they changed what the occupancy of that building is, I mean, and that's a zoning issue too, right? I mean,
Right,
so.
absolutely.
So if you have B1 and so it's a business, right, you're B1 and the guy has a restaurant or a cafe or something, okay. He turns it into a stationery shop, okay. He turns it into a fireworks stand, okay, now wait a minute.
Right, we can't
Right?
do that. Well, I
Or
like this
They start
because,
processing batteries in there. Well, hang on a minute now. That's not B1 anymore. Now you're L1. You can't be in there. Well, I own this building. Well, that don't matter. Your function in that building now does not meet the zoning of that building. So
yeah, because it would be nice that our commercial buildings aren't used for storage or garages for personal stuff where they can actually be storefronts.
I don't know if you can make them do that.
Well, I mean, if it's zoned that way, like, you know,
But you can't. I mean, because they own the building, you can't
Right.
force them to open a business.
no,
So-
but if it's,
Kind of what they do behind closed doors.
right,
In their storing stuff. It's hard. It's
but
hard
if
to do
it,
that, right?
if it's not, if this is in our zone, that this is all it can be used for,
Yeah.
you know, it can't be purchased and used, like, this is just my
Yeah, the guy on the street
personal,
can't buy it and just turn
Yeah.
it into his personal workshop.
yeah, that's what I mean.
So,
Yeah. It sounds like anything else we need to talk about before the meeting tomorrow? Like, I feel like we've got a good foundation to come in and talk with them and kind of know what we're talking about and know what questions we have.
Well,
And
I think we've got a lot of questions, and
yeah,
probably came up with more even today.
I know, I feel like I feel like it's redundant, I feel like we talked a lot about this the last time we met with them. So, I kinda hate the fact that we haven't that it's the same meeting. We're gonna be having the same meeting tomorrow that we had the last time. We already knew that we needed to contact these people, and nobody's even done that. I don't.
yeah. So we haven't followed through as fast as we wanted to.
I
So
think maybe somebody could maybe call like one or two of these people and maybe at least to have something. Like
before the
Dave would,
meeting tomorrow.
yeah, like Dave would be an easy one.
To do what though?
Just ask him some of the questions. I mean, cause if it's something like the substantial stuff, I mean, that would be easy.
So the substantial improvement modifications, I don't think we even have to talk to the homeowner. We just have to, we already have a project cost on the permit. We just gotta pull an assessed valuation, write it on a form, say it's less than 50%, put it in the file, send it to the DNR, say we're done. I think they'll be happy with that. So I don't wanna contact the property owner and freak them out.
Okay, well, yeah, we
Yeah.
just,
either.
okay,
And-
we
and-
had some of that contact property owner.
So
Contact
there
property
are
owner.
some specific ones where I think
Okay.
we do need to contact the property owner, and then I want to have our ducks completely in a row.
Okay,
So we're not freaking them out when we don't have to, or we're telling them exactly what we need to do.
Seems like last time we met, didn't you discuss doing an elevation, getting an elevation certificate on Vroom's barn? And if it was out of the floodplain, then that's not part of this discussion.
right,
Yeah, so they dug up a survey that they had done. I think it was plans for putting in a sewer system when they were gonna try
Mhm.
to tap into our high pressure sewer line. And it had elevations for all four corners of the building,
mm-hmm.
and they're all above base flood elevation.
Do we have a copy of that?
Yeah.
Okay, then we can at least propose that to them tomorrow. And we can say that we're working on getting that elevation certificate.
Yeah,
So I think we need to have something because,
You think we're gonna get yelled at, don't you?
oh, well, I mean, I don't wanna waste anybody's time having the
Yeah.
same meeting over and over
Yeah,
again.
I get you.
so I think the mistake we made in the first meeting is we didn't write down notes of exactly, okay, what's the next step? And maybe we were still trying to get, like, I hadn't read the floodplain ordinance at that time, like, I didn't understand the rules as well as, we were just like discovering
I still don't.
the rules. So, I think I've had a little bit of a reticence to not just contact somebody without being confident about, you know, what they need to do, what we need to do, what's the easiest way to comply. That permit, I do have a copy of that, so the rooms, what's it called?
Plat.
The plat, or yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I can have that,
I think
Share
that
that
would
with
be
them.
great.
but I think it's also moot in the fact that the permit has expired. So we haven't given them occupancy and we're not going to, and then we'll run them through the correct process on the new permit.
Right,
So they're also asking about, you know, tell us your process to comply with implementing your ordinance. So that's kind of why I've got that form that asks all the yes or no questions.
but they're also mad because we haven't fixed these old things, so I think,
I don't think Brendan and the other guy, I forget his name, I don't think they're mad at us. Their emails have said, you know, hey, thank you for the progress you're making. We really appreciate all the work you're putting into this. I think they get that we're a small town. The meeting that they're having with us is a little bit of an escalation, but what Brendan told me was that FEMA required that they do that.
right,
FEMA
because we haven't shown any.
Right. So if
So
we
I think
had,
we need to show something.
if we had everything closed out you know, a month ago or 2 months ago, we wouldn't have had this meeting, and we wouldn't have then asked for this year's permits, this year and last year's permits, and they're gonna come and do an inspection and see what they can find. So I sent them this so they can see we're doing some work, and I'll send them this form. Part of why wanting to do that was so they see that we're working, and that hopefully the meeting, they're coming into it like, okay, we wanna help you, not like, okay, we gotta, you know,
But I
threaten
mean-
you with our stick.
So, like, this
Well,
permit
let me
22,
finish a
okay.
little bit. They said that FEMA required it, went over their heads. They didn't want it to escalate. So I think they're kind of for us, but I think we need to, like, get all this stuff closed out as soon as possible.
I think they just wanna work with us and show us the way forward and what we have to do.
Yeah, but I think we need to get it done. I think we need to ask them, like, what's their time frame to get this done? So we can have it closed out, where FEMA doesn't escalate.
Give us your deadline.
Yeah, what's your deadline? 'Cause they did give us a deadline and we missed it, and then they said, don't worry, we know you're working, it's good. And then there was FEMA went over our head and made us escalate. They didn't use those words, but you know. So I think they were happy, but someone else higher in the food chain wasn't happy. So we need to find out, like, what's the deadline, and then we gotta meet it. So.
Very possibly, is there any way, like, this one that seems simple, 2209, if we know what the project cost is, could somebody look up what the thing is on the tax, and then we have it, and like, boom, that takes care of that one, and we can just say, hey, there's this, and there's this number, so it doesn't fall under the substantiability 2209,
Yeah.
and then we can make up a form to submit later, but at least we can show them that we know that this one doesn't need to be in compliance.
I can have
Or-
those substantial improvement modification forms done.
And like filled out for the ones
Filled
that,
out.
well, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
I just think that it'll just show that we have made some type of progress, not just
Right.
this awesome form that you did. I love it. But it's almost just notes from the meeting, pretty much,
Yeah.
when I look at it.
If we had taken notes in the meeting,
I
this
did.
would be what the, okay, well,
Well,
yeah.
that's my job, is to take the
Um,
notes.
So, this was a couple days ago. I was like, I just gotta put all the permits in one folder,
Yeah,
look
no,
at
it's
everyone,
great.
figure out, I gotta get my ducks in a row. Now that I've got, like, my head wrapped around it, I think you're the one that has to actually certify or you're the one that does the substantial improvement modification thing, but I can put it all together.
That's fine.
I mean, that I think I don't know if we need to sign it or not, or just, but yeah, I'll have those. I only know them today, so they can have them. I don't know if they'll be able to see. And I'll send them the thing with the brooms.
Well, a lot of this stuff is just on GIS, county records, right, as far
Mhm.
as assessed valuations.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
you can look, yeah,
yeah,
you
it's easy.
can, you can look up tax records on anybody.
Yeah. So I'll have all those pulled. And then for 2022, 2025-01, the one that we just issued, is the 72,000.
We need to find out if a roof, because that just seems silly to me. We need to find out if a roof goes in there.
So it's a roof and
Roof framing.
Roof
framing
framing.
and a new steel roof, yeah.
and then
And then some interior finishes.
all
on the
same
second floor. Everything's on the second floor.
I think we should just ask him, and then we'll
Yeah.
know what we need to do about it.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a completed permit, so we still have time. They're still
We-
working, so we
yeah.
still have time to adjust it.
Yeah. Either that or the
I mean, that is a commercial print, and it was structural, and so they did have to get a CDR for that, which we have.
Mhm.
They budgeted their CDR through the state, and
Yep.
have that, so.
Do you want me to have, okay, so let me, because if they don't accept that, there's maybe another way of, so what do you think of a, depreciation on that building from original replacement cost?
Do you want me to see if I can get a copy of something?
I mean, I have the property record card right here.
Okay. I know somebody who had it assessed.
Oh, you have a certified
I
appraisal?
don't know.
Or
I don't.
you could get one?
Maybe,
That would be amazing.
because that might help.
If we have an appraisal that's more than 145,
Yeah, 150-ish.
yeah,
Oh, then that's not gonna help at all.
it was, yeah, okay. So what let's see. Okay, so here's the FEMA document on, all the way to the top. It's answers to questions about substantially improved, substantially damaged buildings. So it's all about how to calculate those modifications for the can actual cash value or replacement cost value be substituted as estimates for market value? If depreciated to account for physical conditions, then actual cash value or replacement cost value can be used to estimate market value. The average cost value is the cost to replace a structure on the same parcel with a new structure of like kind and quality minus depreciation due to age, use, and neglect. ABC does not consider loss in value due simply to abnormal design or location factors. Depreciation accounts for physical condition of the structure. It says you can use it. Where is it? So we have the replacement cost value on the property record card of $341,000. So whatever we use for the depreciation factor, I think you take the cost to replace, you multiply it by the depreciation factor, and then that's what you can use. So I can put that together in a little form.
I mean, the depreciation factor is not gonna be 50,
Yeah,
right? So they're gonna be over the 150, they'll be under they'll be over 150, so they'll put them under 50%, so they'll be okay.
that's what so you're the one that I think has the ordinance says gets to do these determinations.
But I don't, where do we get the depreciation calculation? Where does that come from?
I think we could estimate it. So,
That's gonna be a question for them.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we ask them
I
that.
think we can, probably not.
You know what the replacement cost value is? $320,000.
Right. So, so do we want to ask them in the meeting tomorrow, or do we want to come into the meeting with, here's the
Here's the way we wanna do it.
here's the way we want to do it,
Is this
here's
correct?
the form, you good with this?
Yeah.
And we could choose, I think 70% depreciation will get the numbers that are needed. And I think there's legitimacy in this, and that they're saying this doesn't take into account, what this lets you do is not take into account we're in a non-advantageous area. Like the same building here and in Crown Point is gonna cost way more in Crown Point. Or it's gonna, you know, sell for more, that's what they're saying, I think.
Demographic kind of a thing.
Yeah, the ABC does not consider loss in value due simply to outlook, design, or location factors. We have location factors here. And it's probably got outmoded design, you know. So do we want to come into the meeting with, here's our,
This is what we're proposing to do,
right,
right or wrong.
yeah.
Tell us
Sure.
which way.
And then we've done some homework,
Yep.
and they can just say, okay,
Yeah, this is fine, go with it.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm good. See what they say tomorrow.
Well, they might say you can't do that, but then hopefully we're good with, well, it's all above flood protection grade, but then maybe they're gonna require us to get an elevation certificate to prove that the second floor is above the floodplain. Which would be a little bit silly.
Yeah, for a roof. And that's why I just don't understand. Like, if it's a roof permit.
Tomorrow we'll find
Yeah.
out. We'll go from there, right?
Okay, cool. So I'll put together as much of those things so we can say, here's the paperwork,
Yes, I
and
love
we can
that.
check a bunch of them off. And
Yes,
hopefully we'll just have 3 left.
I love that. Yes.
And then I'll send them that form that I put together. Did you find the floodplain rate insurance maps? Is that something they asked us to bring? I think we're close to wrapping up here. Just, so they asked us, submit a blank copy of your community's permit application for development in floodplain areas prior to our meeting. So I'll send them that. I'll send them just a draft. Can you evaluate our draft? It's got all those questions. And then they want to talk
But
through.
didn't we submit the permit already?
Yeah, maybe they're good with it, but they didn't.
I thought he said it was fine,
Okay,
but at
I'll-
least then you got that the pinpoint stuff, which is great.
because maybe it covers the be prepared to share information regarding your community's development review, permit inspection, and appeals procedures.
Right.
Like how we go about evaluating whether we can grant the permit. Like it's got the little kind of flow chart built into those questions, so maybe it satisfies that.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted us to bring a copy of the ordinance. That's what this is. That's why.
Mm-hmm.
So can you bring this back tomorrow? And I'll probably bring another copy. Then this is,
I don't think I have insurance rate maps
yeah,
because I don't have those.
okay. Yeah, work
That would-
session, you were gonna see if you had those.
Right.
Um,
I mean, that would be maybe a question for the county assessor, because wouldn't that be something they determine?
no, there's a FEMA website where you can look these things up.
Well, then why do they need them for us if they have them?
Because it,
You can get it from any insurance company that sells flood insurance.
Right.
for us, it's simple, because we're all in the same zone. We're all in whatever, AZ or flood communities. And I think it used to be, you actually had physical maps. So they wanted us to bring those to the meeting, so I think we come prepared and say, we use this FEMA website, and our entire town is
Okay.
zone AZ or whatever. So, and then this is, you sent that, it said be prepared with information on the permits you've issued. Compliance records must be maintained on all developments, you know, so they want all the compliance records. So you sent the permits, and I'll have the additional,
Yeah, I mean, we keep records.
well, but they want the substantial improvement determination stuff.
Right.
They just want to be able to check the paperwork, so I think that's everything they're asking for, and hopefully we can get through it with the least amount of pain.
Tomorrow's the same time for noon, right?
Yep.
Okay.
All right, folks.
Are we adjourned?
Yeah.